I uninvited my fiancé's family from our wedding because my mom demanded it. I let my mom insult my fiancé and told my fiancé her opinions didn't really matter. Now my fiancé is called off the wedding, and I'm realizing how badly I screwed this up. I'm 29M. My ex-fiancé is 27F. We've been together almost 5 years, engaged for a little over a year. My mom is 56F. My dad passed when I was 20, and since then it's mostly been just me and her. I'm an only child, and I won't lie, I've always kind of been my mom's whole world, and I leaned into that more than I should have. My ex, I'll call her Anna, has 2 younger brothers and a big, loud family that's very different from mine. Here's how it started. When Anna and I got engaged, things were great at first. We did the cute engagement photos, started a wedding Pinterest board, all that. My mom cried when I told her and hugged Anna, saying, "I've been waiting for this day since you two met." She also immediately said, "Don't you worry about a thing, I'll take care of everything. I know how these things are done." At the time, that sounded helpful. Weddings are expensive and stressful. My mom offered to pay the venue deposit and most of the catering if we let her have a say in things. I heard help and money. Anna heard control, but I didn't really get that then. Anyway, from the beginning, my mom had big opinions about literally everything. We were at dinner one night, talking about venues. Anna wanted something smaller, like 80 people max, kind of rustic, more us. My mom wanted a big hall, 150-plus guests, live band, the whole thing. Anna said, "I'd rather have fewer people we actually know than a room full of your mom's coworkers." My mom laughed and goes, "Sweetie, weddings are for the family and community. You two will have your whole lives together to be intimate." I kind of laughed along and said, "She's done this before. She knows what works." Anna went quiet, and later she told me that stung. I brushed it off as her being stressed. We compromised on a mid-sized venue my mom liked. She paid the $4,000 deposit and reminded us multiple times that it was non-refundable, so let's not waste it. That became a theme. The first small thing I really ignored was the guest list. Anna made her list. Her parents, brothers, cousins she grew up with, some close friends from college. My mom's list was a lot. Old neighbors, distant relatives I've never met, her church friends, coworkers, their spouses. The venue capped at 120 guests. When we combined lists, we had like 160 names. My mom goes, "Well, obviously we can't cut family or church people. Maybe we trim some of Anna's friends? She's young. They can always celebrate another time." Anna looked right at me and said, "Are you serious? These are people who actually know me." I panicked and went into fix-it mode instead of backing her up. I said, "Babe, maybe we cut like the friends you're not that close to anymore. We see your cousins once a year, they'll understand." She goes, "My cousins are like my siblings." My mom rolled her eyes and said, "So dramatic." We ended up cutting several of Anna's friends and one of her cousins to make room for my mom's church friends and an old boss of hers. I told myself it was just numbers, just one compromise. Anna cried in the car afterward and said she felt like it wasn't her wedding anymore. I told her, "It's just one day. What matters is we get married," which in my head sounded reasonable, but now I hear how dismissive it was. The next big thing was the dress. I didn't go to the appointment, obviously, but my mom did because I should be there. I'm the mother of the groom. I need to see what my future daughter-in-law is wearing. Anna invited her because she was trying to be nice. After, my mom called me on the way home and said, laughing, "Well, we have a situation." According to Anna, who I only fully listened to much later, she had found a dress she loved. Simple, minimal lace, not a giant ball gown. She was happy. Her mom was happy. My mom apparently looked her up and down and said, "It's fine. But don't you think it's a little plain? You only get one wedding day. You don't want to disappear next to everyone else." Anna joked, "I don't really care about impressing people. I just want to feel like me." My mom replied, "But it's not just about you. Our side of the family has expectations. People talk." When Anna told me that evening, she was clearly upset. She said she felt insulted and like my mom was implying she'd look boring or not pretty enough. I tried to lighten it and said, "My mom just has a big mouth. She doesn't mean it like that. She's just excited." Then I said the first really bad sentence. "Honestly, she's putting a lot of money into this, so her opinion does kind of matter." Anna stared at me and said, "So mine doesn't?" And instead of backing off, I doubled down with, "I didn't say that. I'm just saying you can't ignore her like she's just some guest. That her opinion matters more." Things sat between us for weeks. I know how that sounds now. The real damage started at the engagement party. We did a small party at a restaurant. Both families, some friends. It should have been a nice night. My mom drank a bit too much wine and started making comments at the table. Anna's family is more casual, more do-it-yourself. They offered to contribute some money toward the wedding, but it wasn't anywhere near what my mom was offering. No one had an issue with that except my mom. Near the end of dinner, she said, loud enough for people at the table to hear, "Well, I guess I'm basically the wedding planner and sponsor at this point." Anna's dad laughed politely, like, "We appreciate everything you're doing, of course." And my mom goes, "Oh, I know. I just want my son's wedding to be done right. Some people don't believe in big weddings, but in our family, we do things properly." It was obviously a dig. Anna's mom's face dropped. Anna squeezed my knee under the table. I could feel the tension, and I still said nothing. I just awkwardly smiled. On the drive home, Anna asked, "Did you hear how she talked about my parents?" I said she was just bragging. She likes to feel important. Don't take it personally. She answered, "I am taking it personally. They're my parents." I told her she was being sensitive and that my mom didn't mean it like that. To be clear, I did talk to my mom later that week, but I did a terrible job. I said, "Mom, maybe don't bring up money like that in front of her parents. It makes them feel bad." She replied, "Oh, please. If they feel bad, maybe they should step up. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. You think they could afford that venue without me?" And I just dropped it. I didn't say, "That's not fair," or "Don't talk about them like that." I let it slide again. So yeah, the guest list issue turned into a full disaster a month later. We were finalizing seating charts. Anna wanted her immediate family and a couple of cousins at one table near us. My mom wanted her sisters, their husbands, 2 church ladies, and her best friend all near the head table. We were running out of space. We literally didn't have enough chairs in the front part of the room. My mom said, "Move Anna's uncle's family to the back. I don't even know them. Why would they get a good table?" Anna said, "Because they're my family. I grew up with them. This is my wedding too." My mom replied, "You're joining this family. That makes us your priority now." I tried to mediate and just ended up making it worse. I told Anna, "Maybe we can move a couple of your relatives. They'll still be there. It's not like we're banning them." She looked at me and said, "It's always my family who gets moved or cut." And I said something like, "Well, logistically, it makes sense. We see my mom's side more often." That night, we had our first, maybe we should postpone talk. Anna said she felt like she was marrying my mom, not me. I told her she was being dramatic and that we were too far in, deposits paid, invitations almost done, honeymoon booked. That brings me to the big one, the uninviting. A couple weeks after that fight, Anna's mom called my mom. I wasn't there, but I guess she told my mom she felt disrespected and wanted us to reset and make sure the wedding was about us, not about one family. My mom did not like that. She called me afterward furious. She called me controlling, she said, in my own son's wedding. "After everything I've done, you either fix this or I'm out. I'm not paying thousands of dollars to sit in a room with people who don't respect me." I tried to calm her down, but she went straight to ultimatums. She said, "Either her family is out of the wedding or I am. I will pull my money and you figure out yourselves. I don't need to be there to be insulted." I freaked out. The venue was paid by her. The catering deposit too. I don't have that kind of money sitting around. I can maybe cover some of it on credit cards over time, but not all. Instead of telling her, "No, we're not uninviting her family," I panicked about the money and said, "Let me talk to Anna." I went home and told Anna the conversation, but I framed it like a logistics problem, not what it really was. I said, "My mom feels really disrespected. She's talking about pulling out of the wedding. If she does, we literally can't pay for this venue. I don't know what to do." Anna said, "Your mom is the one who crossed lines." My mom called her out once, and suddenly we're the problem? I said, "Can we just, I don't know, do something to calm things down?" Then I suggested the worst idea I've ever had. I said, "Maybe we do a small ceremony with your family later, like a backyard thing, and keep the main wedding mostly my side so my mom doesn't feel cornered. Or we cut your side from the ceremony and just invite them to the reception." She stared at me like she didn't recognize me. "You want me to uninvite my own parents for my own wedding," she said, "because your mom got her feelings hurt?" I tried to spin it. "It's not like that. We just literally can't pay for all this without her. I'm trying to find a solution." We went in circles. She said no, obviously. She said if her family wasn't there, it wasn't happening. We didn't speak properly for a couple days. During those days, my mom kept calling. "What's the plan?" I'm not backing down. I refuse to be treated like garbage by people who are using me. She also said, if that girl really loved you, she would understand how much I've done for you. I was tired, stressed, and honestly scared of losing the wedding we'd planned. So I did something unforgivable. Without talking to Anna again, I texted her parents and brothers in the family group chat. I wrote, "Hi, I'm really sorry, but due to budget and venue constraints, we're having to cut some guests from the ceremony and keep things smaller. We'll still do a celebration with you all later, but we can't have everyone at the main event. I try to make it sound like a neutral, everyone's getting cut thing, but it was obviously aimed at them because my mom's list stayed the same. Her mom didn't respond right away. Anna did. She came into the living room holding her phone, shaking, and said, "What did you just send my family?" I tried to say, "We can explain, it's just until we figure out the money." She cut me off. "You uninvited my parents. You just told them they don't get to see their daughter get married to make your mom feel better." I kept saying, "It's temporary, we'll fix it later," but there was no later. I'd already done it. Then came the sentence that still makes me feel sick. She said, "Do my opinions matter at all to you?" And instead of shutting up, I said, "This isn't about opinions. It's about reality. My mom is paying, and we have to be realistic about who's more involved." So yeah, I basically told her to her face that my mom's involvement and opinions mattered more than hers or her parents. She packed a bag that night and went to stay with her friend. I honestly thought she just needed a few days. The honeymoon thing is almost its own nightmare. We had a 10-day trip booked to Mexico. All-inclusive, nicer than anything either of us had done before. Non-refundable flights, hotel deposit down. About $2,500 we'd already paid. In the middle of this chaos, my mom started saying, "I don't know what I'll do when you two leave for 10 days. I'll be all alone. No one ever thinks about me." She lives about 20 minutes away, not helpless or anything, but she definitely ramps up the guilt. She started sending me texts at night like, "I'm so anxious thinking about being alone when you're off having fun. It's like everyone forgets about me." One day, after another guilt trip call, she said, "If you push the honeymoon or shorten it, we could use that time to move some of my stuff, fix the house, spend some real time together before everything changes." I brought it up with Anna on one of the rare days when she came by to grab more clothes. I said, "What if we move the honeymoon? Or cut it to 3 to 4 days instead of 10? My mom is really spiraling about being alone. We could do a shorter trip now and a bigger one later." She looked exhausted and said, "So now our honeymoon has to revolve around your mom's feelings too?" I said, "It's just one trip. My mom won't be around forever. Beaches will." That line, yeah, I actually said that. She said, "I thought the honeymoon was for us, not for you to make your mom feel special." We argued. I said I already called the travel agent and that we'd lose some money but could move most of it to later in the year. I framed it like I was being practical and family-oriented. She said, "You canceled our honeymoon without even asking me." I said, "I didn't cancel it, I just changed it. And I had to make a decision. Someone had to be the adult." That was basically the last straw. A couple days later, she asked me to meet at a coffee place near her work. She had the ring box in her hand. She said, calm but shaking, "I can't marry you like this. I love you, but I will always be second place behind your mother. I won't sign up for that." I tried to argue. I said, "You're overreacting. It's just a season. Once we're married, things will change. My mom will back off." She said, "No, she won't. Because you don't want her to. You like being her little boy more than you want to be my partner." She slid the ring back across the table. I didn't even know what to say. At first, I blamed her in my head. I told my mom she called everything off out of nowhere. My mom's reaction was literally, "Well, better now than after kids." She clearly wasn't cut out for this family. "We'll find you someone who appreciates me." I repeated that to a couple of friends, and they stared at me like I had two heads. One of my friends finally said, "Dude, you're not hearing yourself. You uninvited her family, canceled your honeymoon for your mom, and told her her opinions didn't matter. What did you think was going to happen?" That's when it really started to hit. I reached out to Anna a few weeks later. She agreed to talk on the phone. She said she's staying with her parents. They're hurt, but supporting her. The invitations are obviously canceled. Venue deposit is gone. The honeymoon credit is sitting there unused. I asked if we could try couples counseling. She said, "I'm already doing individual therapy to untangle all of this. I don't know if I want to try again with you. If I did, your mom would have to be nowhere near a relationship. And I don't think you can do that." I told my mom that if there was any chance of fixing this, she'd have to apologize to Anna and her parents and step back. My mom said, "I'm not apologizing to that girl or her rude mother. I did nothing wrong. You're just brainwashed now." So that's where I'm at. No wedding. No honeymoon. I'm still in the apartment we were supposed to move into together. Half her stuff is gone because she took her things. My mom keeps calling and acting like this is some phase, and that Anna will come crawling back once she realizes what she lost. I don't think she will. And I don't even know if she should. I know I'm the one who let this get this far. I kept choosing the path that avoided conflict with my mom, even when it meant walking over Anna. I told myself I was being practical, but really I was just being cowardly. I guess I'm just trying to figure out if there's any way to fix even a tiny piece of this, or if I just have to sit with the fact that I blew up the best relationship I've ever had because I couldn't stand up to my mother. Comments. Comment 1. You didn't just let things get messy. You actively chose your mom over your fiancé every single time. You uninvited her family, canceled her honeymoon, and told her to her face that your mom's opinions mattered more. That's not a misunderstanding, that's a pattern, and honestly, I don't blame her at all for walking away. Comment 2. I'm curious, did your mom ever treat previous girlfriends like this? Or is this the first serious relationship you've had as an adult? It kind of sounds like you and your mom have been in this little bubble since your dad died, and nobody pushed back on how intense that bond became. More info on what your relationship with her looked like before Anna might help. Comment 3. You need therapy, like actual long-term therapy with someone who understands enmeshed parent/child dynamics and setting boundaries. Stop chasing Anna for now and start working on disentangling yourself from your mom's grip. Separate finances, stop letting her pay for big things, and keep all communication in writing so you can see how manipulative she's being in black and white. Comment 4. I grew up with a dad like you and a grandma like your mom. My dad never stood up to her, and my parents' marriage was miserable until my mom finally left. If you ever want a healthy relationship, romantic or otherwise, you have to decide that being a partner comes before being the golden child. It's not easy, but it's possible if you actually commit. Comment 5. Practically speaking, you should send Anna and her parents a sincere written apology that doesn't mention your mom or try to justify anything. Not to win her back, just to own your part. Then tell your mom, clearly, that your relationships are not up for debate and stop sharing details with her. If she throws a fit, let her. That discomfort is the price of change. Update. A few people asked if this was my first serious long-term relationship. Yes, I dated casually before Anna, but she was the first person I actually lived with and planned a future with. Before that, it really was just me and my mom for years, especially after my dad died. I see now how unhealthy that got. I've started therapy. I had my second session this week. The therapist didn't let me hide behind. I was just trying to keep the peace. She called it what it was. I made choices where my mom's comfort mattered more than my partner's well-being. Hearing it out loud sucked, but I needed it. I did send Anna and her parents a long apology email. No excuses, no, but my mom just owning what I did, the uninviting, the comments, the honeymoon change, all of it. Anna replied once. She said she appreciates the apology and that she believes I'm trying to reflect, but she still doesn't want to get back together or restart wedding plans. She said maybe in the far future we could be friendly, but right now she needs distance. As for my mom, I told her I'm not discussing Anna with her anymore and that I'm not comfortable with her insulting Anna or her family. She blew up. She said Anna poisoned me and that the therapist is turning me against my own mother. We haven't spoken in a week, which is the longest silence we've ever had. I'm not going to pretend I'm suddenly a different person. I still catch myself thinking, how can I make this easier for my mom before anything else? But at least now I see it as a problem instead of just being a good son. Right now, I'm focusing on getting my own life in order, paying off what I can from the wedding mess, and learning how to have boundaries at all. I don't know if Anna and I will ever get another chance. She doesn't owe me that. What I do know is that if I don't fix this pattern with my mom, every future relationship will end up in the same place. For now, I'm just trying to sit with that and actually change instead of just saying I will.